What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Crypto Glenn here. As you can see here, we've got some activity going on in the crypto space that we need to talk about. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I'm not going to be talking about projects that we had been buying months ago and years ago, because at the end of the day, it does you all no value. I want to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin right now. As you can see here, the price is currently down, filling this fair value gap that we've been taking a look here in the charts. If you're following me on Twitter, then you will recognize this setup. I believe this was posted on March 10th or maybe even March 11th. I want to say it was March 10th. Could be the 11th, but I want to say it was the 10th. And as you see here, Bitcoin entered into this ascending wedge. These normally break to the downside. This one, in fact, did. This chart really works better on the 4 hour. You can actually see the structure. Let me go down here. Where are we at? Okay, so you kind of see the ascending wedge structure there, but if we jump down to the 15-minute, we're going to get a better overall picture of what's going on. Now, our first take profit here was this purple line. You see we had hit it multiple times. I was actually taking a look here and expecting Bitcoin to come down and fill this fair value gap relatively around the same time that this purple take profit line was hit. Unfortunately, it didn't, right? This actually took a little while to actually come down. You see that we're down there now. But on the trade that we were waiting for this to happen, it never really actualized. In fact, if anything, between here and where we're at now, Bitcoin has actually hit a brand new all-time high. So this is like the second all-time high Bitcoin has hit this week alone. And I think what you're seeing right here, right now, is currently Bitcoin is working to fill as much of this gap as it possibly can, which is perfect because that supports my theory between wicks and gaps. They need to be filled. And so right now, Bitcoin is working to come down and fill this fair value gap. If we're taking a look here on another Bitcoin chart here, this is on the 4 hour. I like, really what we're seeing here. I know that, Bitcoin is going through a little bit of turmoil right now, and all of this really works together just to provide a very comprehensive picture of what's going on. The inflation numbers just came out. It was very, very bad. So that's one of the reasons why I believe you're seeing some of the price action in the market that you're seeing now. But one thing that I do like about where Bitcoin is currently moving to is you see here again, just coming off the brand new all-time high. Just broke out a simple fib here. You see prices actually respected to 786, which means it's a very light retracement downward. And also what you see here is that Bitcoin is currently respecting this 20 moving average. You all also know my working theory on that 20 moving average. Price needs to meet the 20, and there's only two ways to do it. So if price is starting to move up here, right? The distance between your moving average as well as price is called extension. The more exaggerated that becomes, the more you can expect to see a correction, whether it be prices moving up, a correction to the downside, or maybe price is, underneath that moving average. The distance between price and that moving average is called extension. You can see a correction to the upside because price has to meet this blue line here. There's only two ways to do it. If you're above this average, price has to come down, or price can consolidate and allow the average to come up and meet it. If in fact the 786 is not respected, or we don't use this zone as an area to find the energy, find the resources, the price action, the volume to actually start to move back up, potentially what you might see is Bitcoin retrace to the 618. Again, all of this completely well within what Bitcoin quote unquote should be doing right now. I want to go back here and just pay attention to where we're at right now with this fair value gap. Again, where does this kind of come down to? This would be 69.4. Where does that coincide? 69.4. So yeah, I mean, that will put us just at the bottom of that fair value gap. And again, I think much of that is to be expected just primarily on where Bitcoin is at and the amount of gaps that we have here. Technically, I would have been into this trade, but I decided to cut this video for you all. So by the time you see this video, if this move has not been made yet, if you're going doing your own due diligence, your own resources and your own research, definitely see if you arrive at the same conclusion that I did. You might still have time to take this trade. What I would be on the lookout for next is, again, after Bitcoin potentially drops down to these 618 levels, the 68,145. In fact, if it does not turn around from the 786 where we're at now, I'd be taking a look at Bitcoin closing this fair value gap here. There's a couple of them here. This one's a little bit stronger than the two up here. You can kind of see these better if we jump down to the 5-minute chart. Let's just make that a little bit bigger. And again, you see a couple of the fair value gaps here. Now, again, keep in mind on the 5-minute as well as the 15-minute, take a look at where our average is. Take a look at where price is at. The distance between price, okay, the distance between price, right, and our moving average here is called extension. That's a pretty exaggerated extension. So again, I would be looking for, Bitcoin to, again, close this fair value gap that we're currently in and potentially start making its way back to the upside here. I'd say maybe within the next day, maybe 2 days. I don't think it's going to take 5 days, but we'll just kind of have to keep an eye on it and just to see if, in fact, we get those bids and that volume again. All of that is going to be completely dependent upon if we get the volume to support these moves down here, okay? And also, it looks like Bitcoin actually just finished closing that original fair value gap. So, yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I love technical analysis, this would have been a brilliant trade for anybody that was in it. So we'll keep an eye on that and exactly see what Bitcoin is going to do here moving forward. It looks like it's just kind of broken below that fair value gap. It currently might be trying to make its way down towards the 618. So I'm going to keep this video short because I do see some opportunities here in the market, some that I've told you about, and I definitely want to try to take these. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get to you. Peace.